Hi, I'm Trish. I'll give you fair warning. I'm going to touch on a few things today that that a lot of people don't like hearing about. So those things are depression, anxiety, and periods. So if that's not for you, just skip this one. Now, the reason that I am going to mention those things is I've been really struggling the last couple of months, like really struggling with depression and anxiety. I've been having panic attacks most nights, so, you know, my sleep hasn't been good. My depression has gotten so bad that I've actually been struggling a lot more than any person should with suicidal thoughts. I will say straight up that I won't do it, even though many times over the last couple of months I have desperately wanted to. But I won't, because I know it's the depression talking. So I'm just trying to get through it. Now this is, I'm pretty sure it's all been brought about by my iron levels being quite low. I'm technically not anemic, but my iron levels have dropped from 65, which is still, it's not great, but it's in the normal sort of range. And for me, it's really great. That's the highest it's been in years. Yeah, so my iron levels before my surgery back in June were 65. Then I didn't get a period for about 3 months, but then when I got a period, I really got a period. And it went for, I think that first one went for about 11 or 12 days, and I was bleeding very heavily. My iron levels dropped down to 35 just from that one period, and maybe a little bit from the surgery. And I did have that hematoma that bled and stuff. So I think maybe like a combination of both of those. And then my next period went for 2 weeks. And again, it was very heavy, and my iron levels dropped further down to 15. The lower limit of iron is 30, so and my hemoglobin started to drop as well, so that means that I was actually going into my iron stores. I have been taking iron tablets. I don't tolerate iron tablets very well. I get very constipated, and if I take too high a dose, I get even more out of breath and more palpitations, and I just feel really shit with it. So I can't take high dose iron. So the other day, and you know, and I've just been so tired, I've been napping, like sometimes I'll nap 3 or 4 times in a day. When I finish this video, I'm going to go and have a nap. I haven't had the energy to do proper workouts at the gym. I actually fell asleep at the gym the last time I went, and my fitness is dropping off. And I know it is, because I know like what my heart rate is for, you know, a given speed on the treadmill, and it's gone up by about 15 beats per minute. I don't even want to think about what my recovery heart rate is now, because I'll probably just like drop dead of a heart attack when I see it. I've been getting palpitations a lot. If I get up now and walk to the other end of my house to go to the toilet, by the time I'm sitting down on the toilet, and I don't have a big mansion house, I've got a regular sized house, I'll be like all and like, you know, trying to get my breath back. When I went to the clinic today, the bariatric clinic, and I walked up the 2 flights of stairs because it's up on the 2nd floor. I always do that, but normally I get up to the top of the stairs, I'm fine, not puffed out at all. I walked up those stairs, and I walked down the corridor, and I went and sat on the toilet, and I left the toilet, and when I got down to the reception, I was still out of breath. So I think because of my fibromyalgia, I'm a little bit more sensitive to things like low iron levels, I imagine. And my fibromyalgia's been a lot worse as well. I've been waking up in a flare-up most days, waking up with the shakes and the aches, and feeling sick sometimes. So I have absolutely had enough. And I had a brainwave just the other day. I thought, I wonder if depression and anxiety and fibromyalgia can be made worse by low iron levels. So I went and asked Dr. Google, and Dr. Google said, yes, that can happen. So I made an appointment with my GP, and I went along all prepared to beg for an iron infusion. I've been begging for an iron infusion for many years, because low iron is not new to me, and they always refused me, saying, no, your iron's, you know, it's not low enough. I even, many years ago, about 9 years ago I think it was, I had my gallbladder out, and it was a very big surgery. And I didn't know as much about iron levels and everything back then, but when I looked back on like blood tests that I'd had done just prior to that surgery, they sent me into that surgery when my iron levels were at 9. 9. They should have been giving me a blood transfusion, or at least an iron infusion. So anyway, I looked up all that and I went and saw my GP, all prepared to, I had all my evidence there, this is why I need an iron infusion, whatever. And it turns out all I had to say was, I've been really, really tired. I'm so over this. I fell asleep at the gym. And he said, oh, well, we'll give you an iron infusion. We can do it in the rooms here and it's covered by the PBS now. And I'm just like, okay, I'll make an appointment. So I'm having that done tomorrow. And I've really got my fingers crossed that that is going to solve all my problems as far as the escalated depression, the anxiety, the sleep problems, the being very, very tired all the time, and the constant fibromyalgia flare-ups, and I'll be able to get my fitness back because I'll be able to work out properly. So I've also been just, on top of that, my lap band was too tight and I was vomiting quite a lot. I was getting food stuck a lot, vomiting a lot. And then that just switched practically overnight. It went from too tight to no restriction at all. So combine no restriction with not getting enough sleep, not getting enough exercise, being really, really depressed, and being able to eat all the bread and rice and pasta and shit food that I want and did, I have gained weight. Now I'm happy with how I look. I love how I look. I don't mind this weight. But honestly, I'd be happy to stay this way, but I'm probably going to be doing myself a favour to maybe lose 3 or 4 kilos. Maybe. Probably only about 3 or 4 kilos. I was 92.5 kilos when I weighed myself this morning. Just so you can see what it looks like on me, here's a little video I made earlier. If I look a bit pissed in it, it's because, and those of you with kids will know this face very well, I asked my daughter when I came home if she would do a quick little video of me, and it was a lot of trouble for her to actually get up off her butt and do it, so I was pissed when she was making the video. That's that's why I look funny in the video. So here it is. This is what the extra 5.5 kilos looks like. As you can see, I've carried it pretty well. I'm not worried, I don't mind. On my scales this morning I was 92.5 kilos, and I'll show you, because I haven't shown you my belly for a while. That's, you can see, I'm not holding anything in. That's it, and I might even that's puffy at the moment, but you can see, nothing to worry about. This is my scar, because I haven't shown it for a while, and this is 5 months and a day. You can see I'm healing pretty good. Oh, that's what I did the fill this morning. So, I'm happy. Let's just stand around the back. And around that side. You can see I've still got that dog ear there. That needs to be surgically removed. So that's it. That's an extra 5.5 kilos, and you can see why. It's like if I singled into my undies, I'm so classy. You see why I'm not worried about it, I still look fine. So you can see from that, I look fine. I'm happy. I like the full, rounded, womanly look on me. But as I said, I probably could do with losing a couple of kilos, but if I don't, I'm not fast. So anyway, I knew I'd gained some weight, so I had to go into the Alfred today into the bariatric clinic, and I thought I'll get a feel. And I don't know if you've forgotten, the last clinic update I did was about 2 months ago, and I was raging because I'd seen this surgeon that I hadn't seen before, and I'd put on a couple of kilos then because it was post-surgery, fluid swelling and everything. Oh, and that's another thing. Because of my periods, I'm on a very high-dose progesterone tablet, which is making me, I imagine it's that tablet, making me retain fluid. And I know I'm retaining fluid because I can feel it in my feet at night time when I sit on the couch. My feet just feel like they're going to burst open. So that's probably contributed a little bit of weight as well. So anyway, and I'm taking that to try to stem the bleeding from my periods until I can get a hysteroscopy and endometrial ablation. So, what was I saying? So I remembered. I went into the clinic today, and when I went in, because I knew I'd gained weight, I thought, if I get this same surgeon again, she's just going to go me, and I'm probably going to start crying. So I waited about an hour and a half for my appointment, which sometimes happens in the public clinics, and the doctor called me in, and it was the same doctor that I had last time that I made that raging video about, because she bitched at me because I gained a couple of kilos. And I thought, oh, here we go. So we went in, and she was really, really nice. She goes, oh, you've gained a little bit of weight. And I said to her, I've gained a lot. I've gained 5.5 kilos. I said, I don't like to make excuses, but this is what I've had going on. And I told her, gave her a little bit of a rundown. And she was so nice. She said, oh, I'm really, really sorry that you're going through all that. How can we help you today? And I'm like, can I have a little fill, please? So she did a fill, and I think she stuck the needle right in the scar, because I had the muscle repair with the tummy tuck, and I've got the fleur-de-lis scar that runs down vertically as well, and the port from the lap band is stitched onto the muscle, and I don't think some surgeons remove the port and they reposition it on the muscle. My surgeon didn't do that. So my port has moved closer to the middle. So when she accessed the port, I think she's gone in through the scar, and it felt like it hurt when she stuck the needle in, and she stuck me twice. I think she put it in the wrong place the first time, because she sort of made a bit of a funny noise, and it really stung going in, and I don't normally feel it going in. It's just like putting a hot knife through butter. So it hurt going in, and then she put in the fill, just a tiny little bit of fill, because I'm so sensitive to fills, and I can already tell this is going to be a tight one. And then when she took the needle out, it was like while the needle was in there, the scar, it felt like the scar super glued itself around the needle. And when she pulled it out, it really, really hurt. It's like the worst hurt I've had in all the fills I've ever had. And I've been bruised a couple of times. And so she was quite shocked that it really, really hurt. And I said, oh my goodness, it's never hurt like that before. And she put a Band-Aid on it, and she was apologising and everything. And she said, oh, it's because I had to go in through the scar. And she said, when did you have your surgery? And I said, in June. And she said, yeah, your scar's going to be oversensitive. That whole area is going to be oversensitive for a while yet. And I thought, great. So at least it's not forever. It's probably just until the scar completely matures and whatever. I actually thought that I wouldn't feel it. I thought that area would be numb. No, it wasn't numb. So I'm going back in about 5 weeks, I think, just to make sure that fill was okay. And here's another bit of news. I finally got a date for the revision on my boobs to have the fat necrosis removed and the dog ears and all that sort of stuff, and he'll probably whip off that dog ear that's on my hip. 14th of December I go in, so my Christmas is going to be a pretty quiet one, I think. So I'm going back to the clinic just before I go in for that surgery, just to make sure that the fill I've got in at the moment isn't too tight. I think it's only feeling tight at the moment because it's fresh, and I've got to have fluids for a couple of days and all the rest of it, but it does feel a little bit tight. If worst comes to worst, I can just stick to fluids and mushy foods for the next 5 weeks and get a little bit taken out when I go back, and that'll be fine. So I think that's all my update. I'll because I think people with lap bands and other forms of weight loss surgery, I think iron infusions, I don't know that they're really, really, really common, but I know they do happen because people do have problems with nutrition after weight loss surgery. So I will post a video after I have that done tomorrow to let people know what it was like, and that'll be it. I don't anticipate any problems with it tomorrow. You can have anaphylactic reactions and all that sort of shit with it, but I'm not actually worried. I have the attitude that they've got resus equipment where I'm going, and I'm sure they've got EpiPens and all that sort of shit. So, and I completely trust them and have faith that they can, counteract any problem that I may or may not have. But I don't anticipate having any problems at all. So that's all, and I'll make another little video tomorrow about that.